Today, I'm going to be picking the brain of writer, adventure travel blogger, and photographer, Matthew Karsten from expertvagabond.com. Thank you, Matthew, for coming on with us and being at the mercy of me and sharing your wisdom with our posse here at Adventure Sauce.
Thanks for having me, Benjamin.
Matthew is willing to show us the behind the scenes of how he runs expertvagabond.com. And Expert Vagabond, if you don't know, is a popular adventure travel blog. So if you want to create a blog, you want to make some money of it, you want to make money as you travel, or maybe you have a travel blog now and you're not having the success that you're hoping for, you want to check out this interview with us. Grab a piece of paper and jot down some of this wisdom, because even though I've studied blogging, I've been doing it for years, my conversation with Matthew the other day taught me a lot about blogging as well. So let's get in. Are you guys ready? Matthew, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Cool. Okay, here we go. So Matthew, you get paid to travel around the world. Dream job. You take photographs. You've been to Nicaragua, South Africa, Guatemala, Mexico. You've worked with the travelchannel.com. You've been on nationalgeographic.com. You have been featured on CNN Travel. You're doing what so many people want to do, but a lot of people are failing at it. They're not having the success that you're having. Let's talk in this interview, about what you've done right, and let's maybe start at the beginning. So at the beginning, what do you feel like you did right to get your project off of the ground?
Well, I started planning quite early in the whole thing. So I had an idea that I wanted to travel and share my experiences with other people. But I also was kind of thinking in the background of possibly turning it into some kind of business along the way. So like the year before I left, I made sure I saved up a lot of money, sold off all my stuff that I wasn't using, got rid of my car, bought a bicycle and a bus pass, stopped going out to nightclubs and bars, that kind of thing, and really stuck to my mission of making this happen and saving the money. I did a lot of research. I was reading books like Vagabonding from Rolf Potts, and the 4-Hour Work Week was another good one. Those helped motivate me and taught me a lot about what I was getting myself into. And
how much did you have a goal?
I had a general goal. I probably had maybe about 10 grand, a little less than 10 grand saved up. But I was also building like a web-based business at night. I was working my butt off all the time, and I wrote some ebooks about photography and nightclub promoting, actually, and was learning how to sell those online to have an additional income stream, so I could keep traveling even when my savings ran out. So I was planning all that in advance too before I left. Awesome.
So you were learning about the web. You were honing your photography skills, and you already were like learning about blogging and creating an ebook product. So you had some money coming in, and you had a nest egg too, which I feel like a lot of people don't mention, that it helps to have money down so you can really kind of invest in a business for a while, because it takes a while to make some income. Would you agree?
It did, yeah. It took me, with my blog, it took about a year before I saw anything come from that. So I needed some other income out there, and I planned for that in advance, which is another thing I think some people forget to do often.
Well, I think some blogs are misleading that this is really easy to do and that you're going to make, I don't know, I read Tim Ferriss's right away and was like, man, this is going to be so easy. Great marketer, but I feel like a little misled by that. There's tons of great information in there too, but.
I agree, but yeah, it's not easy. It's very, very difficult. I'll agree with you with that for sure.
I've heard between 1 and 3 years is kind of average. 3 years being average, 1 year being like, yo, you rocked it. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. But even though I started making some money after that year, I wasn't self-supporting at that point. It's only more recently that that's happened, and I've been doing it for about 2 years now. Actually, it'll be 2 years in November.
Okay. Well, awesome. So about a year to make money. What do you think was the turning point there? Like, how did you make your first dollars through your blog?
The first money that came in was from advertising, contextual link type advertising, which is the first, I think, for a lot of bloggers. Companies started contacting me wanting to have their links on my site with a paragraph or maybe an article, or they'd want to buy an article on my site to help promote their search rankings. So that was the first type of income for sure.
And I think a lot of people kind of kill their audience with that because the content isn't as great as like what Matthew's going to write, about like some of these great stories you have on your blog. But you found an interesting way to get around that. Could you describe it for people?
In the beginning, I did what a lot of people do and posted these links prominently on my site where all the readers could see them as well. But I wasn't happy that it seemed like it was annoying people, and it was kind of screwing with the reader experience a little bit. So I started placing them, they're still on my site, but they're not in places where my regular readers will see them. They're not going to see them on the home page. They're not going to see them in the sidebar. The articles aren't going to show up in my RSS feed at all. So they are, the companies are getting what they want, but it's not going to inhibit that reading experience at all for anybody.
And for readers at home who maybe haven't set up a blog, like, it is really hard to make money. And when someone's like, advertising is the easiest way, and there's definitely like some kind of argue or debate, I would say, going among bloggers. Do we accept ads? People that don't are like really righteous. I don't accept ads, and then other people are like, yo, I'm eating, So
yeah, exactly.
I feel like you found a great benefit in there for yourself, for your readers, and even providing, the advertisers some value. They're on a great site. If people are searching, then they're finding that ad.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think everyone's getting something good out of the deal, and and eventually, maybe eventually that income will dry up when in the future. But for now, I'm going to use it while it's there to help me travel longer and continue writing and taking photos of things I love to do. Awesome.
Let's dive into, I know you had kind of like a big break with South Africa. Could you tell us a little bit about that story?
I kind of the turning point, I think, in my blog was when I was invited by the South African Tourism Board on a 2-week press trip over to explore their country, and there's no contract saying I had to write about anything particular. It was just, come check out our country for 2 weeks, and if you want to write about something that you like, that's great. And so I had an incredible time over there, and I started realizing that people were actually paying attention to the site a lot more. That all the hard work was starting to pay off a little bit, and more of those trips have started coming along now, which helps quite a bit with saving money on my travel expenses, and I can stay an extra week or two after the trip and explore on my own a little bit, and so it's become kind of a part of my blog.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? When I started my blog, I didn't even realize there were tourism boards. I had no idea what that was. Maybe kind of just explain like the benefits you're getting, what they're helping you out with, and why someone, if I'm starting a blog, I might want to contact these people to get a partnership going.
For sure. Well, and these trips are nothing new. They've been going on for years and years and years, but it's usually been magazines and newspaper authors and writers that get invited on them. But recently there's been a change where online writers are starting to get invited, bloggers are starting to get invited on these trips, because tourism boards, the people that are trying to promote tourism for a country understand that a lot of people are reading blogs these days and pay attention to what bloggers have to say. And frankly, it's cheap for them to bring us out there and talk about the country compared to like TV ads. You know, placing TV ads in the U.S. is incredibly expensive. So it's just another way that they can help promote tourism to their country. And as long as I'm able to write honestly about my experiences there, I have no problem in, you know, they'll provide accommodation, sometimes send us out on activities, take us out to restaurants, that kind of thing. And it's not something I'm going to do, you know, my blog is not going to be strictly, you know, going from press trip to press trip, but I will accept these occasionally to help with my own expenses and to share new adventures with people.
Yeah, so you're basically getting there and they're taking care of the tours, the accommodation, food. They're showing you around basically.
Yep. Sometimes a lot of times they'll pay for flights over too. So that's another, I mean, that's a big expense. So for example, when I go down to Mexico next week, I'm going initially for a week on one of these media trips where the tourism board kind of shows me around, but then I'm just going to stay on my own longer while I'm there and explore and get into, you know, some of the type of adventures that I'd want to do if I was traveling there anyway. I'm by myself.
Awesome. So if I'm at home though, here's what I'm thinking. It's like, yeah, but you got this great blog. You got 10,000 people on your email, you know, you got thousands of Facebook fans. I'm new. How in the heck am I ever going to get in with these people? You know, where they think I can offer them that. What suggestions would you have for someone like that?
It's, you know, it's going to take work. That's the thing. It's not going to happen overnight. It took, like I said, it took a year before that happened for me, that I got invited on this thing. One of the things you can do is you know, do interesting things, do things that are going to make you stand out, show off your talents, and the other thing is you can contact these people. You can contact them yourself. Initially, I got invited out, but these days I actually will pitch to other tourism boards in other countries that I want to visit. So that's something you can do. Even if your blog is new, you could actually a good idea from another blogger, Adventurous Kate. She just had a presentation about just exactly that, pitching these travel ideas to tourism boards and companies. And then, you know, if your blog is new, you can always write for other blogs. So you can say, you know, I want to go to Mexico and, you know, experience what the state of Chihuahua has to offer. And in return, you know, I'm planning on writing articles for, you know, this site and this site, but, you know, contact the websites, make sure that they're interested in articles like this. But you could totally plan your own kind of media trips that way. And I've started as well.
Well, I was just going to kind of wrap it up. So basically, it's not going to happen overnight. So start blogging, set up a blog, you know, about a year, work, create great stuff. You know, you've used photography, your skills in photography to really set yourself apart, I feel like. And like you said about interesting stories, I feel like a lot of travel blogs are destination based, whereas you are more like, these are the stories of the people I'm meeting, the food, the places. And to me, that's what sets you apart in the crew. And what I'm noticing is one of the reasons why you're successful. So if you're new, maybe, I mean, photography is a great skill to have online, but do you think someone needs to differentiate themselves in some way? Is that really important at this point?
Yes, I think it's very important. You gotta stand out from the crowd a little bit. And actually, some great advice I got from a couple different people, Dave and Deb from the Planet D and Gary from Everything Everywhere. Some of the things they told me were, the power of good photography, standing out from the crowd, doing interesting things, and building kind of a brand around yourself, and building relationships is important too.
Yeah.
And so, when you think of building a blog, it's not just about going out and recording your experiences. There's a lot of other things that go into it to become successful, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. This isn't just like a travel journal about Matthew Karsten. You put a lot of effort into recognizing what people want and giving them something that's really different.
Yeah, I try to. Yeah.
So let's go into a little bit. I know you work for the Travel Channel online as well, which sweet gig. I'm a new guy. How could I steal your job, basically?
Well, again, it's just more hard work. So I pitch ideas to other media outlets often, and I pitched some ideas to the Travel Channel, to editors at the Travel Channel's blog, and they liked them. We worked together, and we're finding out it's working out well, and I continue to work with them on a semi-regular basis. And I don't make tons of money from that, but when you partner and you work with kind of established brands, it helps you, as a blogger. You don't have a ton of respect in the professional world right now. So when you work with more established brands like that, it helps boost your respect level a little bit. So that's why I actively try to do that kind of thing, because it helps on a lot of levels.
Has that helped get other gigs or tourism board things or more readers, you think?
Yeah, I think so. When they see that you have worked with traditional media in some fashion, it gives them a little more confidence that you're a professional, I think. So I think it helped. Yeah.
So if I'm new, and I love traveling, but I don't know much about pitching anyone about anything. I mean, can you just kind of basically lay out a process that's worked for you?
I'm still learning. I don't know. I didn't know anything about it either. It's a whole nother world. I'm learning more about just travel writing in general. I write about travel, but I don't know if I would call, there's a lot of real travel writers out there. I have a lot of work to do myself, and I'm learning that it's a big world out there and can be complicated. And
but hold on just one second. I feel like that right there is the sign of a true professional travel writer. I don't think Rolf Potts is sitting back with his feet up being like, "Ooh, I got this." I feel like there's always that hunger to improve. And so I just wanted to be give you some props on being you're doing it. And I maybe don't even realize it, the impact you're having. But also, I'll let you go now. I wanted to kind of just hit you with that.
I know, that's fine. For pitching, the things I've learned most recently is to kind of keep it short and sweet, but you gotta, every sentence that you put in there has to draw the editor in, and you have to really learn what these editors are looking for too. So study the publication, read a bunch of other things that they've published, and don't pitch them something that has nothing to do with what they normally publish is one big thing. I was just going to say a great book that I've read recently was Travel Writing 2.0 by Tim Leffel, and I highly recommend that if you want to learn how to pitch to these more traditional types of media.
Yeah, pitching is an art form. We could spend hours kind of talking just about that. But I mean, I feel like that's a great basic. Read the publication, know what they want, give it to them in a concise form. You also have a sweet media kit too that I feel like. Do you feel like that's helped you lay out that you're legit here?
Yeah, again, you got to spend time making yourself look as professional as possible, and that helps quite a bit, I think. So yeah, a media kit that you need. It just takes time. You can't just kind of expect it all to, people to accept who you are and what you're writing about. You have to sell them on it, really.
Yeah.
And a media kit is part of it.
I was going to say that a media kit, for you guys don't know, is basically just a document. Matthew was nice enough to let us check out what he has created. So let me pull it up on my screen. We'll go through it quickly. So this is Matthew's media kit briefly. So what he's doing, he's laying out what the Expert Vagabond is about. He's got some cool photographs here on the side. Then he's going directly into how this helps the editor. And you're noticing numbers there. You're not seeing like, hey, I'm so great. You're noticing exact numbers with established like Twitter, Facebook. These are the things that people want to know. If I'm an editor, I want to know how many people are going to be seeing this. And then he's giving more. He's got a nice like why they should partner. So he's basically convincing them in a very professional manner why, with some sick, like graphs and numbers. And even if you don't look at it, you're like, wow, this guy's legit, right? He's got the Travel Channel, CNN, and National Geographic on there. So if I'm an editor, let me pull my screen back up here. So if I'm an editor, I'm checking this out and thinking like, okay, like maybe I'm not silly sold, but at least I'm like, okay, this guy's professional. And if I'm interested, there's probably a much better chance I'm going with you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed like a huge jump in like your, I don't know, success with that, with the media kit?
Yeah, yes, for sure. If you trying to pitch tourism boards or or travel companies without a media kit is, you just need one. I think you really need one. Otherwise, they're not going to take you seriously because everyone else that's pitching them has it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, let's wrap it up. Last thing that I want to end on is, so you started your blog 2 years ago, and you're in the blogger circle. You know kind of what's happening. You're friends with a lot of the guys who are, all successful. If I'm starting my blog right now, what are you noticing that I need to do to be successful? Like if there's anything I could take away from this to be like, gotta make sure I do that, what kind of advice would you give?
In my opinion, I think strong site design is important. And really interesting things. Writing about the same stuff that everyone else is writing about you're gonna get lost in the middle of all those other blogs that are writing the same thing. So try to do really interesting things and spend time writing about it. Don't throw up a post. I'm spending more and more time just trying to get one post up. So I spend a lot of time rereading and editing it, and a lot of time on the photos. So it's spend a lot of time on before you hit that publish button, and I guess do research too. Do some research on interesting things that you think people would want to hear about.
Thanks so much. I mean, I really feel like if I'm watching this, if I would have watched this a year ago or 2 years ago, it would be like, boom, I'd have a definitely like trajectory to go on. So, and I appreciate you being honest with us. I know it's like, this is your business. This is something Matthew has worked on, it's his baby. And I hope you guys as an audience realize that he's really letting you in to something really special. And to be jotting down this stuff, if you're serious, you want to travel the world, like it's not easy. You need to work for it. I want to direct people, if you're watching Matthew and thinking like, heck yeah, he has a great travel ebook with 25 travel photographs with like Alberto the Hermit, where Matthew went out and hitchhiked out.
I love Alberto.
Guy's got a great beard. He's carving in the mountains. He's lived out by himself for like 30 years. He's got some other great photographs that, if you're loving the message, I think you're going to love Matthew's email list. Thanks again, Matthew, for coming out and sharing.
Thanks for having me, Benjamin. This is great.
All right. You guys, take care. I hope you guys set up a profitable travel adventure blog.